Yemo bibi akwa about the smart Ghana update so we a news update for crowd de ba beso mu. Abusua Gabby Otchere Darko ene wono ankasa ba abonten e de nsem bi e tudwa efa Agyapadeɛ buku a Hopeson adoye ene ODIKE ene mpanifo bi pese omo kyese e ade a sabio Otchere na akofo ado ene wono ankasa epo a omabo e pese omo fa kwan bi so na omo de elevate Otchere e ma ne chen otumfo ene ahemfo e wo oman Ghana ha nyina na omo sa so e build omo ho some empire bi a kyese bibia wo pa gye se okọ true omo ho ansa na omo nsa aka na no ene Gabby Otchere Darko enya abotre akyerɛkyerɛm ebra book no first edition by ne omo sa revise biem de by ene omo kasa fa ho pese omo kyerɛ se e ade se book no efiri omo akache ade se to some extent no edru baabi no okache omo se sa nkofo no omo kasa asem ni nyina no obeka se sabio omo ye imbeciles esanse nsam na omo keka ni nyina no enya ade se nyansa bia wom no obesa aka esisu biem se obi obegina abonten anase baabi acheche book no mu pese o kyerɛ se chinchina nche omo achemfo no de bai na omo pese omo ya na omo de capture nyoma bi ti se de omo to ni din state capture no obeka se sa nipa no still yenko hwehwe omo adwem cause e bia na bibi enkoye wo baabi abusua mempese me kasa bewa wanya abotre akyerɛkyerɛm including president Kofi so emre bi nsɛm a omo ka fa ne ho Victor Smith ene omo aka nyina.
What do you make of the debate around the Agyapadeɛ document?
I think
there's a state capture which has been.
I'll repeat what I put on social media the other day. If any person, okay, any intelligent person, or a person who considers him or herself intelligent, believes that a family, okay, that has one of their leaders been offered the opportunity to lead the country, will sit down and conspire evil against the nation, and put the picture of the overlord or the head of that family on that document, you must have your head examined. If you believe that, you must have your head examined. And then when I hear people, and I don't want to mention names, but you see, when I hear people try to say that things in the book are happening,
Are playing out
like
a movie.
Let me explain to you. And it's actually a very imbecilic statement to even hear, because it comes from a non-analytical appreciation of what is in that fiction. All right. In 2016, if you remember, when Akufo-Addo came up as the probable leader of the NPP strong base is Ashanti. Then maybe you can say Eastern. There have been deliberate attempts right from the onset to create a fiction, knowing that there's some history. Years ago, they will say to Foreign and those, there's some history years ago of a conflict between Ashantis and Achims, but they are the same people. Some people, knowing that Akufo-Addo is an Achim and the party strong base was Ashanti, tried consistently to create a wedge between Ashantis and Achims. Because if you have a leader from Achim and that leader does not get the support of Ashantis, then the NPP can't win. So we saw it consistently.
So political gain.
I'm just saying, we saw it consistently. So around October 2016, if you don't have a copy, I'll give you a copy. It was the first version of this fiction, where the focus then was on how the Oforepenin Fie, which is a royal home, or if you like, the Achimabuaka version of Manchia, if you like, the palace for a Oforepenin Fie. saw the Akufo-Addo presidency as an opportunity, this is the book they wrote, to elevate the Otchere above every other traditional ruler, including the Ashantis, the Asante-Hene. And created the impression, and the purpose of that book, okay, was to let it be read by Asantes, and for them to say, oh no, we can't let Akufo-Addo win. Unfortunately for them, the book came too late. I believe it was around November, and it was completely ignored. Then we saw a revision of it when all these bank stuff happened in 2019. That also didn't catch any fire. And then around October, November 2020, they then gave it a new name, Agyapadeɛ. Why did they do so? Because of Agyapa.
Agyapa royalties.
Yes, Agyapa royalties from the entity that was built by a Minerals Income Investment Fund. Yeah. And if you remember, for 2 years, because my firm worked on the bill and the agreements, for 2 years, those who were the advisors and the promoters of Minerals Income Investment Fund Act worked constructively with Parliament. Indeed, the NDC MPs had contributed more, if you look at Hansard, than even to some extent the MPP MPs in how to make the system, the structures work for Minerals Income Investment Fund and everything that comes out of that. And then they decided that they were going to set up an entity. The idea was to float it in the stock market so we can get to the end of the value chain of our gold, because we've been a gold mining entity for so long. All right. That was also not controversial. It was going through Parliament. The MPs were all contributing towards it. And then we heard John Mahama, I think it was in Volta region, because at that time they said they can raise about 750 million or $1 billion from floating the stock, the Agyapa shares, royalty. Agyapa royalty shares on the London stock market and subsequently on the Ghanaian stock exchange. Then John Mahama said, with 3-4 months to elections, what are they going to do with raising 750 million? Right from that statement, Agyapa Minerals Income Investment Fund became a political tool. 4 months before elections, the question was, what are they going to raise that money for?
So the name Agyapadeɛ document came from that.
Precisely.
So to turn it together.
Precisely. So I'm just making a point. So if you look at it, so they wanted to do what they tried to do to Kufuor, President Kufuor. You remember Victor Smith in 2008.
As the spokesperson of Rawlings at the time.
Yes. Said Kufuor had gone to sell Ghana for about $5 billion to the Kuwaitis, and that they sold all our oil blocks and our gold reserves. And I believe it was Backbin, who was then a minority leader, went on Joy Radio, Joy FM, to say that he believes he's also just come from England or somewhere, and he believes the story is true. This is the propaganda. And it was at the same time that they had printed photocopies of about 20 or 16 people, President Kufuor's appointees. Akufo-Addo, Kufuor, Kwabena Japan, all manner of people. And the amount of money that they're supposed to have in one single bank, Prudential Bank, when you put it together, it was more than Ghana's gross domestic product. Our total size of the economy was smaller than what they said these people had in their accounts. And you know what happened? People went to Prudential Bank to take their money out because they were afraid. They almost collapsed that bank, but they use it for politics. It has been the modus operandi when you come to elections for people to throw out this sort of thing. Now, you're telling me things in the book are playing out. The book talks about APSA. So look at when the book was done. It talks about APSA.
Barclays becoming APSA.
APSA.
Talks about Yawasaf of Mafu's son.
Barclays became APSA in February 2020. I'm trying to get you to understand. It talks about Asase being created to as how we are going to rival. Asase came into being June 2020. Okay? It wasn't saying we're going to create Asase. It's saying that Asase has been created. And because of that, all the NDC radio stations whose licenses have been revoked, those frequencies were going to be given to MPP people. Has that happened? I mean, why do we want to behave as if 99% of the things that they said will happen have not happened? If one or two happen because a deputy director or director general of SNIT is now the director of SNIT, does that mean there was a grand scheme? I mean, really, I think you know, we need to be serious as a country. We really need to be serious. Somebody sits down and writes a fiction. You will not take your time to analyze all the lies in there that never happened. They take events and give a twist to an event and blames, because when you look at the book, even when they mention John Mahama in the book, they mention Airbus. And in their attempt to make John Mahama look good, they said, well, even though we don't have enough to indict John Mahama, we will still prosecute him. It's in the book. Why did they think they have to write that we don't have enough to indict John Mahama? So even when you see the book, they will tell you that those who are prosecuting Mahama, they themselves know they don't have enough.
Let me take
it was important for them to make him look good.
Let me take
in the book.